Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first year's welcoming of 2022. My name is Lindy Kutsia, and it is my job tonight to introduce the Faculty of Law to you. Starting at the top with the Dean's office, on the left-hand side, our acting Dean, Dr. Lynn Biggs. On the right-hand side, myself, the acting Deputy Dean, Lindy Kutsia. Assisting the Dean and the Deputy Dean in the Dean's office is the Secretary, Ms. Pesta Pandani. The Dean's office manages the faculty with the assistance of a Faculty Management Committee. Allow me the opportunity to introduce these colleagues to you. In the first row on the left, Prof. Mark Tate, who is the Head of Department of Mercantile Law. In the middle, Prof. Elmarie Knutse, who is the Head of Department in Private Law. And on the right in the first row, Prof. Dion Erasmus, who is the Head of Department of Criminal and Procedural Law. Bottom rows, or second row left, Professor Joanna Botha, who is the Head of Department in Public Law. Middle, second row, Prof. Adrian van der Walt, who's the Director of the Labour and Social Security Law Unit. And last but not least, the Director of the Centre for Law in Action and the Fish Force Academy is Prof. Henny van As. Here with an overview of the Faculty of Law. The Faculty of Law is divided into departments, and all academic staff are allocated to a particular department. However, you will note that academics lecture across departments and not limited to only lecturing modules within their own department. The faculty has 4 departments, namely Mercantile Law, Criminal and Procedural Law, Public Law, and Private Law. In what follows is a brief overview of each department and an introduction to the academic and administrative staff members of each department. Mercantile law is also a division in law. Now, when we speak of mercantile law, we are talking about that part of the law that regulates the legal aspects and relationship of businesses. The Department of Mercantile Law presents modules such as business entities law, insolvency, business rescue and liquidation law, labor law, specific contracts, payment instruments, competition law, tax law, IT law, and consumer protection. In addition to that, the department is also responsible for delivering various service modules to other faculties, mainly the Faculty of Business and Economic Sciences. A service course, for example, would require of somebody studying a BCom to do a service course in commercial law that is then presented by the home faculty, which is the Faculty of Law. Mercantile law modules are only offered from the 3rd and 4th year of the LLB degree program. Introducing the members of the Department of Mercantile Law, the professors on the left is Professor Mark Tate, who's the Head of Department in Mercantile Law and an expert in consumer protection, and also Professor Adrian van der Walt, who is an expert in labor law. The senior lecturers in the Department of Mercantile Law is Lindy Kutsia, who specializes in insolvency and corporate law. In addition to that, Lindy is responsible for the coordination of the outreach street law activities in communities, as well as the coordination of the mobile law clinic. Now, the senior lecturer, Stephen Newman, specializes in consumer protection and credit law, as well as payment instruments. Lecturers within the Department of Mercantile Law, Ms. Tina Aquano specializes in the law of contract with a specific focus on specific contracts of sale and lease. Gary Richards, who specializes in corporate law as well as jurisprudence. Tandukolo Katoy is a specialist in labor law, and Jacqueline Maholo specializes in the regulation of financial institutions and consumer protection. Glenwyn Sefela is a lecturer at our George campus. Glenwyn specializes in environmental law, and back on South Campus in Gqeberha is Ali Nkune, who is a specialist in labor law. The departmental secretary in mercantile law is Evron Chase. Criminal and procedural law includes that part of the law that deals with rules relating to evidence or the production of evidence in a court of law. It also deals with criminal law, which tells you which type of behavior constitutes crimes in South Africa. And then further, it contains procedural law, but not limited to only criminal procedure, criminal as well as the civil procedure that must be complied with by legal practitioners when appearing in court. Now, the Department of Criminal and Procedural Law presents a number of programs. They present the Higher Certificate in Criminal Justice, the Diploma in Law Enforcement. Those two qualifications do not grant entry into the study of law. It is specifically for people who want to specialize in law enforcement, for example, the security industry or the police. Then in the LLB program, the Department of Criminal Procedural Law presents legal skills, criminal law, criminal procedure, law of evidence, advanced criminal law, legal practice, and forensic legal evidence. The department further presents a LLM coursework in criminal justice. The Department of Criminal and Procedural Law has two professors. First of all, the head of department, Prof. Dion Erasmus, who specializes in criminal and criminal procedure law, and Professor Henny van As, who specializes in fish force and local government law. The senior lecturers in the Department of Criminal and Procedural Law is Dr. Leah Ndimurimo. Dr. Leah specializes in private international law as well as refugee rights law. There's also Dr. Esther Gambo, who specializes in criminal law and criminal procedure. The Department of Criminal and Procedural Law has a number of lecturers. Desiree David, who specializes in forensic medicine and medical law, as well as the law of evidence. Dr. Mark Velgemoot, who specializes in the law of civil procedure. He is also a specialist in clinical legal education. Anthea Christoffels du Plessis is our NGAP lecturer. She specializes in criminal law. Alfonso Goliath is also a criminal law specialist as well as a specialist in criminal procedure. The secretary for the Department of Criminal and Procedural Law is Rochelle Redcliffe. Private law is that division of the law that regulates the relationship between persons, often referred to in legal terminology as legal subjects. It determines the different rights and duties that persons may have. These rights and duties find their origin, for example, in marriage, succession, ownership, contracts, and unlawful acts. The Department of Private Law is responsible for delivery of the modules, the law of persons, family law, the law of contract, the law of delict, the law of succession, as well as customary law. The professors in the Department of of Private Law are Professor Elmarie Knutse, who specializes in African customary law and the law of succession, and Professor Andre Makaiba, who specializes in the law of delict and damages. Senior lecturers within the Department of Private Law, Dr. Glynis van der Walt, who specializes in child adoption law and family law, Dr. Rosanna Denson, who specializes in family law, specifically the law of marriage, with a specific and a keen interest in Islamic marriages. Lecturers within the Department of Private Law, Tanya Wagenaar, who is a specialist in immaterial property law that deals with things like trademarks and copyright and patents. Also a keen interest in environmental law, but is currently reading into specializing in law of the sea. Eugene Christoffels, an expert in the law of property. The secretary for the Department of Private Law is Mrs. Ntumisa Sompondo. The Department of Public Law. Public law is also a division of law, and it is concerned with the legal relationship between the state and its people. Public law explores how the state should best advance the needs and well-being of a constitutional democracy and its people. Department of Public Law within the faculty is a vibrant and tightly knit academic unit which offers a number of modules within the LLB program, including constitutional law, legal interpretation, introduction to law, human rights law, and environmental law, to name but a few. The public law staff members research actively in a variety of fields, including gender equality, the law of the sea, socioeconomic rights, hate speech, and freedom of expression and environmental law. Postgraduate research is a core function of this department, and members in the department supervise many masters and doctoral candidates in their research studies that cover a variety of topics within public law. The department is currently developing an LLM coursework in social justice that will be presented from 2023 onwards. The professors in the Department of Public Law are Professor Johanna Botha, who is the head of department and a specialist in human rights law, specifically focusing on hate speech. Professor Amanda Spies, who is an expert in human rights and constitutional law. Lecturers in public law are Nicolene Khumalo, who specializes in African customary law, and Glancina Mokone, who specializes in constitutional and human rights law. The Department of Public Law has a secretary only 3 days a week, on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and that is Alta McClelland. In addition to the academic departments, the faculty also has a law clinic based on its Missionvale campus. The law clinic falls under the Department of Criminal and Procedural Law, and it specializes in the provision of legal services to indigent members of the communities of Nelson Mandela Bay. It also specializes in the provision of clinical legal education. In other words, this is where law students go and are taught how to practically provide services to people out in the community. The director of the law clinic is Miss Matilda Smith, who is responsible for overseeing the legal services to the indigent communities. Dr. Mark Welgemoot is a supervising attorney and also responsible for the practical training of LLB students, or what we call clinical legal education. A center housed within the Faculty of Law is that of the Center for Law in Action and the Fish Force Academy. The Center for Law in Action focuses on improving service delivery at various governmental levels and increasing access to justice for people in need. The Fish Force Academy addresses organized crime in the fisheries environment. The Academy establishes fisheries law enforcement as a new and emerging fisheries compliance model. And the Fish Force Academy aims to increase successful prosecution of the perpetrators of fisheries crimes. The Center for Law in Action is collaborating with international organizations such as Interpol and the United Nations Office on Drug Control. The director for the Center for Law in Action and the Fish Force Academy is Professor Henny van As. The Refugee Rights Center, which is located in Central, behind our Bird Street campus, is a center within the Faculty of Law, and the center offers refugees and asylum seekers free legal assistance. Linton Harmse is the director at the Refugee Rights Center. The Labour and Social Security Law Unit is a unit within the Department of Mercantile Law. The unit specializes in offering high-quality training in the field of labour law. Their programs attract participants from across the country. The Labour and Social Security Law Unit has been accredited to offer the postgraduate diploma in labour law practice of the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration, acronym for that CCMA. The unit is further accredited to offer the faculty and the Department of Mercantile's coursework masters in labour law. The director of the unit is Professor Adrian van der Walt. He serves as a part-time senior commissioner in the CCMA. Prof. van der Walt has previously served as the chairperson of the Employment Conditions Commission and currently serves on the National Minimum Wage Commission. Tandukolo Kutoi, the unit's deputy head, is also a part-time CCMA commissioner. The director of the Labour and Social Security Law Unit is Prof. Adrian van der Walt, and the deputy director is Tandukolo Kutoi. It is very important that any student studying law knows the staff in the Faculty Administration Office. The person in charge in the Faculty Administration Office is Mrs. Nikita Blanche, who is ably assisted by Diaketsu Billy, who is responsible for all queries relating to undergrad students. So if you have an application for a change of degree or you have a special request, you approach Mrs. Billy, who will be able to provide you with all the answers to undergraduate queries. The faculty administration has two staff members that is responsible for postgraduate administration. They are Charlene Pieterse and Kolisa Mngwelo. Charlene Pieterse deals with applications to postgraduate studies, either master's or doctoral studies, either through research or coursework, but she only focuses on the ocean governance and criminal procedure coursework programs, while Kolisa Mngwelo is responsible for the administration of the postgraduate diploma in labour law and the coursework masters in labour law. The faculty is very fortunate to host a SACHI chair, more specifically the SACHI chair in Law of the Sea and Development in Africa. The South African Research Chairs Initiative chair in the Faculty of Law was established in 2013, and it has been renewed for a second 5-year cycle until the end of 2023. The research chair focuses on the following 3 areas: South Africa and the law of the sea, including the legal regime governing South African continental shelf and the exploitation of its resources; development in Africa and the law of the sea, including relevant indigenous law research at an international and comparative level. More specifically, it focuses on the east coast of Africa and the Indian Ocean, the west coast of Africa and the Atlantic Ocean, the Southern Ocean and Antarctica. The SACIT also focuses on the legal aspects of marine tourism. The head of the SACIT in Law of the Sea and Development in Africa is Prof. Patrick Franken. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the presentation of the introduction to the faculty, its departments, and its staff members. I thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Kutsia. My name is Ms. Tina Okwana, and I will be introducing you to your first-year modules and first-year lecturers. The modules that I will be introducing will only be those offered in the LLB, LLB Extended, BA Law, and BCom Law programs. BA Law and BCom Law students will be receiving information regarding the BA and BCom modules from their respective faculties. And now, for our first-year modules and first-year lecturers. The first module is Legal Skills with module codes JJSV 100 or JJSV 1X0 for your extended program. Legal Skills module is a module that aims to equip students with the skills and competencies required for the study of law and to prepare students for entry into legal practice, into a wide range of other careers which require the application of law, and for postgraduate studies in law. Your lecturer for this module is Dr. Lynn Biggs. There is no prescribed textbook for this module. Your next module is that of legal interpretation, with module codes JJUV 100 or JJUV 1X0 for the extended program. Legal interpretation is a year module, and it aims to facilitate skills and competencies to apply the theories and principles of legal interpretation within the framework of a constitutional state. Your lecturers for this module: in semester 1, your lecturer will be Professor Joanna Botha, and in semester 2, your lecturer will be Miss Nicoline Norman. The prescribed textbook for this module is Statutory Interpretation and Introduction for Students, and it is a 5th edition textbook. The next first-year module is Introduction to Law, with module codes JLKV 100 or JLKV 1X0 for your extended program. Introduction to Law is a year module, and it is divided into 4 units. And these 4 units aim to provide students with the foundational knowledge of the development of the concept of law, the history of our South African law, pluralism, and lastly, the South African legal framework. In semester 1, your lecturer who will be taking you for legal reasoning and introduction to jurisprudence and to the Constitution and constitutional principles is Professor Amanda Spies. In your semester 2, taking you for legal history is Professor Elmarie Knutzer. And taking you for legal diversity and pluralism will be Dr. Rosanna Denson. The prescribed textbooks for this module is South African Constitutional Law in Context and Beginner's Guide for Law Students, which is a 5th edition textbook. The next module is the Law of Persons, with module codes JLPV 101 or JLPV 1X1 for your extended program. It is a first semester module, and it aims to provide an overview of the most important legal principles in the law of persons in South African law, as well as how these principles are interpreted and applied in court. Your lecturer for this module will be Dr. Rosanna Denson. The prescribed textbook for this module will be Law of Persons in the Family, and it is a second edition textbook. Your last first year module is Family Law with module codes JLVV102 or JLVV1X2 for the extended program. It is a second semester module, and it aims to enable students to be able to gain knowledge, skills, and the competencies in order to understand family law. Once again, the lecturer for this module is Dr. Rosanna Denson. The prescribed textbook for this module is the same textbook that is prescribed for the Law of Persons module, and it is Law of Persons and the Family, and it is once again a second edition textbook. Those are your first year modules and the first year lecturers. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. As you've heard, my name is Professor Dion Erasmus, and I am the head of the Department of Criminal and Procedural Law. During this meet and greet session, I'm going to introduce you to what I refer to as team law enforcement. These are your lecturers that will lecture you in the higher certificate in criminal justice, as well as the diploma in law enforcement. So if you give me 1 second, I'm just going to start our presentation. Okay, so first of all, here are your lecturers that will lecture you in the various courses. Starting from the left at the top, it's Dr. Leah Ndemvurmo, who will be taking you for courses in the diploma and in the higher certificate. Then Ms. Desiree David, she will lecture you in the higher certificate. I myself will lecture in the higher certificate program. Dr. Esther Gumbo will lecture in both the higher certificate as well as the diploma law enforcement. Ms. Anthea Christoffels du Plessis will lecture you in the diploma course. Mr. Goliath lectures both in the diploma as well as the higher certificate. And then Mrs. Runel Erasmus will be lecturing you in the first semester of the higher certificate as well as the diploma. Basically, you will see we supply you at the beginning of the year with a roster setting out the various block weeks. So both the higher certificate as well as the diploma is presented in block sessions. So there you will see your module code, then the name of the module, and then finally the dates on which these blocks will be presented, as well as your lecturer. So you will be given a copy of this roster, and then you will know when your block weeks will take place. And furthermore, who will present these block weeks. This is a similar roster, but just for semester 2, for the higher certificate. And then this is the roster for the diploma in law enforcement, the first semester, as well as the second semester. You will see that all the courses in both the higher certificate and the diploma deal with various aspects of law enforcement. Once you get access to the Moodle sites, you can go and read in the module guides what the different modules are all about. Okay, so what can I do when I finish the higher certificate? Please keep in mind the higher certificate does not provide a student entry into the LLB program. Students can apply for the LLB after completing the higher certificate if they meet the requirements set down for that specific qualifications. The Diploma in Law Enforcement, students who completed the higher certificate with an average of 60% will be able to apply for entry into the Diploma in Law Enforcement. Please take note that we have limited seats available, so therefore the students who performed best in the higher certificate will in all probability get admission to the Diploma in Law Enforcement. And then the completion of the Diploma Law Enforcement affords a shortened training period for candidates who applied to become part of the South African Police Services. It does, however, not provide entry into the LLB. Similarly, students can apply for the LLB after completing the diploma if they meet the criteria set down for the LLB. That you can find out in the prospectus of the university. Well, that very shortly then is an introduction to the two law enforcement programs presented by the Faculty of Law. If you have any queries, you can just set up a meeting with any of your lecturers, and if there's any problems which you cannot sort out, you are free to contact me as the head of the department via email, and then we can set up an appointment. Thank you, and I hope you will enjoy your studies in law enforcement.
Studying law at the Nelson Mandela University is the best choice you could make. One exciting thing about it is that it's by the beach.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the home of Nelson Mandela University. Like I said, we're literally by the beach. And at South Campus, where our law faculty is located, we are in a campus that is in a nature reserve, literally, with the animals, zebras, and so many little beautiful animals. It's such a beautiful scenery.
To everyone, my name is Smashim Tetwa and I am a PGA at Nelson Mandela University. I completed my LLB with Nelson Mandela University, so it's pretty much been home for me.
I would say that my experience at Nelson Mandela University has been nothing but beautiful. I mean, from the activities that they exposed us to when we got there. This drumming session was nothing but amazing. I never experienced something like this. One of the modules I enjoyed was moot court. The faculty's moot court is designed to look like an actual court, and we had judges presiding over our cases. So we did have the "if it pleases the court, my lord" experience. This was very enjoyable, and it taught us teamwork. The most memorable trip I had was to the morgue. It was scary, but I do not regret volunteering to go that day. It was very eye-opening, but pretty scary. I volunteered again the following year. It is not all work at the faculty. We also play dress up. This was at the Law Ball. I enjoyed this event so much so that if I could turn back the hands of time, I would do it without thinking. When you do well, the Faculty of Law makes sure to reward you for it. It was an honor to be part of the faculty's Dean's List for academic excellence. Dress up was not only for awards and evening dinners. We also dressed up to go to the law clinic, where you deal with real problems presented by people in the community. For example, divorce matters, inheritance, maintenance issues, and this was good grooming for vacation work. Studying law makes you realize that it is better to work as a team, to study as a team, because at the end we know we pass together as a team and we celebrate our wins together. This was my class and we had the best time at Nelson Mandela University.
Good day, prospective students. My name is Saloma Shawule, and I'm the 2021 SRC Law Faculty Representative. And I'm here to tell you guys why you should come study with us at Nelson Mandela University. First, I would like to tell you guys why I chose to study law at Nelson Mandela University. I chose to study law at Nelson Mandela University because they're one of the universities in South Africa that have full accreditation when it comes to law. But when I arrived at Nelson Mandela University, I found out that the lecturers there have an open policy, meaning you as a student can approach them at any time with any issue or any query, and they'll be willing to assist you as a student. When I arrived at Nelson Mandela University, I was not a leader, but because of the environment or because of the faculty, I was encouraged to join societies, which after my first year I became a mentor, and then this year that we're in, which is 2021, I was elected as the SRC representative for the faculty. So it shows that there's growth under that faculty. You as a student also, when you come there, you'll be encouraged to develop or to discover yourself, because I was also encouraged to discover myself and to find who I am in society. And also, there are societies that you as a student can join. We have the Black Lawyers Association, we have the Law Society, and many more, which you as a student can join. And our campus, which is known as South Campus, is located at a nature reserve, a beautiful nature reserve that have wild animals. We have a lot of monkeys, which we are encouraged not to feed at any time. And in conclusion, I look forward to seeing you guys next year as my peers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Danisa, and I would just like to share some important information with you before we close off. So, orientation. It starts officially on Monday, 31 January, and it will be conducted online using the faculty Telegram channels that have been set up for all the major law programs. The links to these channels were sent to the email addresses that students provided when they applied, but they can also be found on the faculty's Facebook page, which is located at Nelson Mandela University, Faculty of Law. Should students have any questions regarding admissions, switching programs, or registration, they're welcome to contact Mrs. Diketo Bailey on the email address provided earlier. Alternatively, students can send a message to the faculty's Facebook page for assistance. We've placed explanatory videos of how to register online for all our programs on the faculty's YouTube site. This is located at Nelson Mandela University, Faculty of Law. These guides contain step-by-step instructions on how to register and will make it easier for students, parents, and guardians to navigate the process. Lastly, we would like to invite all students, parents, guardians to the Vice Chancellor's welcoming ceremony. This will be held virtually on Saturday, 29 January at 9 a.m. via the university's YouTube channel, which is found at Nelson Mandela University. And with that, I would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. We look forward to engaging with you in future. Good night and enjoy.